Hello there, welcome to NTV English News Bulletin. I am Bhavana Kesey. In the beginning, we have the headlines. Monsoon-induced floods and landslides unleash havoc in eastern Nepal. 22 still missing in Sangkhwa. Prime Minister says all apparatus mobilized for relief operations. Prime Minister Dahal, along with leaders Nepal, Bhattarai and John to form a socialist front. Formal announcement to be made today amid a program. The Secretary of State Blinken holds talks with China's counterpart, stresses the need of diplomacy and keeping open channels of communication. Welcome back. You are with NTV English News Bulletin. Now we have the news in details. Various districts in the eastern part of the country have been hit hard by monsoon-induced flood and landslide due to incessant rain since arrival of this year's monsoon. 22 people are still unaccounted for after they were swept away by the flooding caused by Solan Hewa River in Sangkhwa. Santosh Rai, aged 26, of Paach Khapan, was killed after he was swept away by the floods that occurred on the night of June 17. The flood and landslides were triggered by the incessant rain occurring there since few days. The district police office said 17 workers employed in the under construction Super Hewa Khola hydropower project at local Chainpur 4 have gone missing after they were swept away in the flood. Meanwhile, the water level in local Sawa River of Sangkhwa has exceeded the warning level. People have been asked to remain alert as the other rivers in the district too have been flooded following the incessant rain. In Taplejung, Kesar Bahadur Rai, who had gone missing in a landslide in Mehele Muku Vanjang in Taplejung district, has been found dead. The body of Kesar was recovered today after his son, Suresh Rai, who was initially rescued in the injured state, also breathed his last while undergoing treatment. Suresh was initially rescued but tragically succumbed to his injuries. 10 houses in Ordak and Tamrang settlements of the districts are at the highest risk of the landslide due to the incessant rain. Some of the landslide displaced families are taking shelter in safe places, while some have been provided the tarpaulin seats to build the makeshift shelters. The rain-triggered floods and landslides has severely damaged various infrastructures, including road, hydropower projects, bridges and water supply projects in Taplejung. Heavy rainfall has been predicted in many parts of Kosi province today as well. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal has expressed sorrow over the big loss of lives and property due to recent floods and landslides in various places of the country. The Prime Minister said this during a meeting held this morning with the delegations comprising political parties and people's representatives from Taplejung and Pasthur. Prime Minister Dahal said the entire state mechanism has been mobilized for searching the people missing in disaster, rescue and relief, stating that the Ministry of Home Affairs, the Ministry of Defense and the Ministry of Physical Infrastructure and Transport have been directed to immediately take initiatives to that end. Prime Minister Dahal assured that the flood stop and essential logistics for housing and health would be dispatched to the affected area soon. CPNU ML Secretary Yogesh Kumar Bhattarai, former Minister Bashanta Kumar Nemwang, lawmaker Leela Bakhim, CPN Mao Central Member and District In Charge Khel Prasad Buddha Chetri, among other leaders and people's representatives, were in the delegation. In the meantime, the Kosi provincial government has announced an immediate relief of 100,000 rupees to the families of those killed in the recent floods and landslides in various districts of the province. Kosi Provincial Government's Minister for Drinking Water, Irrigation, Energy and Health, Til Bahadur Menyambo, said such decision has been made following an on-site observation of the disaster-hit districts in the province on Sunday. He said the provincial government decided to step up works for the medical treatment of those injured in the disaster, for the reconstruction of the physical infrastructures, repair and construction of the bridges, roads and highways damaged due to the floods and landslides at the earliest, and to resume the vehicular movement. With this update, time to go for a short break, but still to come we have. Welcome back. Now to more updates. Political parties have decided to form a socialist front. The socialist front is said to be formed by the Mao Center, led by Prime Minister Kamal Dahal, the Janata Samajwadi Party (JSP), led by Upendra Yadav, the CPN Unified Socialists, led by Madhavpur Nepal, and the Nepal Communist Party, led by Netra Bikram Chand. Leaders are slated to unveil a 15-point official declaration of the Socialist Front amid a program to be held at the Rashtriya Sabha Griha at 3 p.m. this afternoon. Janata Samajwadi leader Rajendra Shrestha said a consensus has been garnered over the constitution of the Common Front, front and its common minimum program. Now to the international updates. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken held candid talks with the China's counterpart at the start of the 2 days of meetings with officials in China, the U.S. State Department says. Blinken emphasized the need for diplomacy and keeping open channels of communication. His trip is the first by a top U.S. diplomat to China in almost 5 years. A planned Blinken visit in February was called off after a suspected Chinese spy balloon His visit in February was called off after a suspected Chinese spy balloon flew in the U.S. airspace. U.S. officials say the main goal of the Beijing talks is to stabilize a relationship that has become extremely tense. North Korea had said its boast military satellite launch last month was the gravest failure at the ruling party's latest key meeting, state media KCNA reported. The enlarged plenary meeting was held between Friday and Sunday, ordering workers and researchers to analyze the failed military satellite launch and prepare for another in the near future. The North Korean rocket plunged into the sea after losing thrust due to the abnormal standing of the second stage engine, Pyongyang said after the launch failed in an unusually candid admission. Well, with this update, time to go for a short break again, but still to come we have. Welcome back. Now to more updates. Ukrainian troops have recaptured Piatikhatki, a village in the west of Zaporozhye region, amid fierce front-line fighting, Kiev's second gain on that front since it launched its counter-offensive earlier this month. Russian installed official Vladimir Rogov said Ukraine had taken operational control of the settlement and that the Russian troops are trying to counter-attack with selling. Voters in Switzerland have backed a new climate bill designed to cut fossil fuel use and reach net zero carbon emissions by 2050. The government says the country needs to protect its energy security and the environment as glaciers melt rapidly in the Swiss Alps. The law will require a move away from dependence on imported oil and gas towards the use of renewable sources. Switzerland imports about 3/4 of its energy, with all the oil and natural gas consumed coming from abroad. More updates line up on the other side, but before that, let's have the highlights first. Farmers in northern Japan have put premier watermelons up for the season's first auctions, with one of them selling for around $500,000. The auctions for Densuke watermelons produced in the town of Tohama, Hokkaido took place in the prefecture on Thursday. The summer delicacies, weighing roughly 10 kilograms each, are characterized by the distinctive black rind and red pulp. A grower said he is thankful that the local specialty faced higher prices than last year. Shipments of Densuke will peak from mid to late July, driven by their popularity as the summer gifts. Now to sports. Korea Croatia missed out on their first international trophy after losing on penalties to Spain in the Nations League final. Dani Carvajal calmly chipped home the winning effort to seal a 5-4 victory on sport kicks after Unai Simon had saved from Bruno Petkovic. The contest in Rotterdam had finished goalless after extra time. It is Spain's first international trophy for 11 years since their victory at Euro 2012. Well, with this update, we come to the end of this English News Bulletin. But before we say goodbye, let's have a quick reminder of the major stories. Monsoon-induced floods and landslides unleash havoc in eastern Nepal. 22 still missing in Sangkwa Sabha. Prime Minister says all apparatus mobilized for rescue and relief. Prime Minister Dahal, along with leaders Nepal, Ntvithari and Cham to form a socialist front. Formal announcement to be made today amid a program. U.S. Secretary of State Blinken holds talks with the Chinese counterpart, stresses on need of diplomacy and keeping open channels of communication. And Spain wins the title of Nations League, beats Croatia 5-4 on penalties to clinch its first win since Euro 2012. Well, that's all we have in this edition of English News Bulletin. We'll see you again with next round of English Bulletin at 6 in the evening. Till then, have a great time ahead and do stay tuned with us. Namaste.